A first-class fight. One man's stand against injustice. The Chicago morning buzzed with the hum of O'Hare International Airport, a familiar chaos for seasoned travelers. Michael Carter, a 52-year-old tech titan and CEO of CyberGuard Innovations, adjusted his navy tie as he strode toward the premium check-in counter of Horizon Airlines. His charcoal suit was tailored to perfection, a reflection of a career that had taken him from the gritty streets of Chicago's South Side to the helm of a cybersecurity empire worth $900 million. Today, he was bound for San Francisco, where the National Tech Summit awaited, promising to crown CyberGuard as the year's most innovative company. But what began as a routine flight would ignite a firestorm, exposing a corporate scandal and reshaping an industry. Michael had flown Horizon Airlines for years, racking up over 120,000 miles in the past 12 months alone. His Platinum Elite status guaranteed perks, expedited security, priority boarding, and access to the exclusive first-class lounge. At the counter, the attendant processed his ticket with a polite nod, no hint of trouble. Security was a breeze, his laptop and toiletries pre-organized for efficiency. But as he approached the first-class lounge, a subtle shift in the air caught his attention. The lounge attendant, Margaret Walsh, a woman in her late 50s with a forced smile, scanned his membership card with unusual scrutiny. "One moment, sir," she said. Her tone clipped as she typed furiously into her computer. Michael raised an eyebrow. "Is there an issue?" he asked, noticing the white businessman behind him, James Whitaker, shifting impatiently. Margaret's eyes flicked from Michael's face to his ID and back. "Just verifying," she replied, her voice tight. The wait stretched into an uncomfortable minute. James cleared his throat. "Can I go through while you sort this?" he asked. Margaret's demeanor softened instantly. "Of course, Mr. Whitaker, always a pleasure." She waved him in without a glance at his credentials. Michael's jaw tightened, but he stayed calm. After a supervisor confirmed his status information clearly printed on his card, Margaret grudgingly admitted him with a curt, "You're set." No apology. Inside, Michael chose a quiet corner, ordered a sparkling water, and opened his laptop to review his keynote speech. He'd faced this before, the watch store clerk trailing him, the valet handing his Porsche keys to a white colleague. At 52, he'd learned to channel his energy into his work, not these slights. But the sting lingered. 20 minutes later, James Whitaker approached. "Mind if I join you?" "I'm James, by the way." Michael shook his hand. "Michael Carter, CyberGuard Innovations." James's eyes lit up. "Read about your encryption breakthrough in Forbes." Brilliant stuff. They chatted about tech trends until the boarding call for Horizon Flight 927 to San Francisco crackled through the terminal. Michael gathered his belongings, pushing aside the unease from the lounge incident. He needed to focus on his speech, not microaggressions. At the gate, Michael presented his boarding pass for Seat 1B, first class. The agent, Daniel Brooks, a wiry man with a perpetual frown, scanned it and froze. "There's an issue with your ticket, sir," he said, avoiding eye contact. Michael glanced at his phone, where his digital pass clearly showed his seat and platinum status. "What kind of issue?" he asked evenly. Daniel tapped his keyboard with growing agitation. "The system's flagging your reservation. I need to check with my supervisor." Michael stepped aside as requested, watching as Daniel processed the next passenger, a white woman, without hesitation. One by one, the first-class passengers, all white, boarded smoothly. The supervisor, Karen Mitchell, arrived, her expression unreadable. "There's a verification issue," she said vaguely. "What specific issue?" Michael pressed. "I passed security, and my pass was accepted at the lounge." Karen exchanged a glance with Daniel. "Sometimes our protocols flag certain patterns," she said, the word patterns hanging heavily. Michael's pulse quickened, but he kept his composure. James Whitaker reappeared, retrieving a forgotten phone. "Michael, what's the holdup?" he asked, frowning. "Apparently, a verification issue," Michael replied. James shook his head. "That's odd. I saw your pass 1B, right next to mine." "Sir, this doesn't concern you," Karen snapped. James persisted. "I know Michael Carter from Business Weekly. He's CyberGuard CEO. This is a mistake." Karen's face didn't budge. "Please board, sir." James hesitated, then boarded reluctantly. As general boarding began, a security guard loomed nearby, arms crossed, eyeing Michael. Whispers spread among passers-by. Humiliation burned, but Michael stood tall, a skill honed over decades. "This is unacceptable," he said, pulling out his phone. "I'm recording this for my records." Daniel and Karen exchanged nervous glances. "We have a coach seat available," Karen offered suddenly. "We can accommodate you there as a courtesy." Michael stared, incredulous. "A courtesy? I paid for first class. I've flown 120,000 miles with Horizon this year." Daniel's tone hardened. "It's the best we can do if you want to make this flight." With his keynote looming and the guard hovering, Michael faced a choice. "Fine," he said, voice steady. "But this isn't over." Daniel handed him a new pass for 24C, a middle coach seat. As Michael boarded, he typed a post. "Just denied my paid first-class seat on Horizon Flight 927. Watched all white passengers board without issue. Now in a middle coach seat with the airline I've flown 120K miles with. Horizon discrimination." He attached photos of both boarding passes and hit send to his 2.5 million followers. Squeezed between a snoring man and a teenager blasting music, Michael's phone buzzed relentlessly. By takeoff, his post had 6,000 shares. A flight attendant, Sarah Evans, recognized him. "Mr. Carter? From CyberGuard?" she whispered. "I thought you flew first class." Michael nodded. "There was a verification issue." Sarah's face fell. "That's not right," she murmured, glancing toward the front. At cruising altitude, Horizon discrimination trended nationwide. Tech leaders, celebrities, and civil rights groups amplified the story. News outlets ran headlines. "Black CEO bumped from first class. Horizon faces racial profiling allegations." Horizon stock dipped 4% within hours. The airline's initial response, a vague promise to look into the matter, fueled the fire. Passengers on the flight posted witness accounts. Sarah slipped Michael a glass of first-class champagne, whispering, "This isn't right." The gesture, caught on camera, went viral. In the cockpit, the pilot received a message. Media awaited at San Francisco International. As the plane descended, Michael's phone exploded with notifications. CyberGuard's PR team reported Horizon's stock down 15%. News vans lined the terminal. At the gate, a Horizon executive, Laura Bennett, approached. "Mr. Carter, I'm the Western Regional Director. We regret your experience and offer 12,000 miles and a return upgrade." Michael's gaze was steel. "This wasn't an inconvenience, Ms. Bennett. It was discrimination. Miles don't fix that." His phone rang. His attorney, David Harper. "Michael, this is textbook discrimination. We've got a major lawsuit. Horizon's stock is tanking, and former employees are coming forward." As Michael stepped into the terminal, camera flashes erupted. Summit organizer Emmeline Gwynn greeted him. "We're horrified, Michael. The summit stands with you." A TV ticker showed Horizon's stock down 20%. In his hotel's presidential suite, Michael convened his team. CyberGuard stock had risen 3% as investors praised his stand. "This isn't just about me," he told them. "It's about everyone who faces this without a platform." A message arrived from Horizon's CEO, Richard Ellison. "We need to talk." Michael ignored it. His keynote, originally about cybersecurity, now carried a heavier mission. The next morning, Emily showed Michael the headlines. "Horizon in crisis. Discrimination allegations tank stock." His revised keynote wove his experience into a call for corporate accountability. At the summit, 3,000 attendees gave a standing ovation as he announced CyberGuard's Equity Metrics platform, an open-source tool to track corporate diversity practices. "What gets measured gets improved," he declared. Social media erupted, with the live stream hitting 1.2 million viewers. Horizon stock plummeted another 12%. At Horizon's Chicago headquarters, chaos reigned. Ellison paced the boardroom, his tie askew. A leaked email from Daniel Brooks to Karen Mitchell, another one trying to board first class, where he doesn't belong, became a media bombshell. Board member Patricia Evans, a former judge, lambasted Ellison. "This is a culture problem you ignored." Another board member revealed 82 discrimination complaints settled with NDAs over 2 years. Ellison's leadership teetered. Enter Victor Hayes, a crisis manager known as the Fixer. His plan, smear Michael. Anonymous posts questioned Michael's motives, hinting at CyberGuard's contract irregularities. Michael's stock dipped 5%. A threatening note arrived at his hotel. "Not everyone can afford a public fight. Settle." His ally, Karen Liu, warned that James Whitaker was a Horizon plant, his chance lounge meeting orchestrated. Doubt crept in as Michael's family reported odd calls at home. Then, a break. Lisa Morgan, a former Horizon attorney, met Michael at a discreet restaurant. She handed over a thumb drive. Ellison and Hayes buried 7 discrimination cases with NDAs, she said, showing payment records and emails. They used verification protocols to target passengers by race. Michael's resolve hardened. As Lisa spoke, Sarah Evans went public with internal documents, and Horizon's top shareholder, Susan Lee, demanded Ellison's ouster on CNN. At Horizon, Ellison raged as Lee's interview aired. Hayes warned, "You hired me to bury problems, Richard. Don't turn on me." The Department of Transportation expanded its probe, eyeing criminal charges. Michael's team prepared a class action lawsuit for 72 plaintiffs. At a press conference, he presented Lisa's evidence, declaring, "This was systematic discrimination, followed by cover-ups." It ends today. The crowd roared. News broke. Horizon's board fired Ellison, naming Susan Lee interim CEO. Lee addressed employees, vowing to dismantle biased practices. Horizon settled the lawsuit, agreeing to independent oversight and public diversity reports. Michael's summit speech won CyberGuard the Innovation Award. 3 months later, Horizon relaunched with new branding and policies. Lee invited Michael to fly first class on the inaugural flight. "Your stand changed the industry," she said. 3 rival airlines announced policy reviews. A year later, Michael opened an innovation lab in his childhood neighborhood, mentoring young Black entrepreneurs. "When you face injustice, standing your ground can change systems," he told them. Appointed to the Federal Travel Equity Board, he shaped fair travel policies. Horizon thrived under Lee, a case study in transformation. Hayes's firm collapsed amid exposed cover-ups. Ellison faded into obscurity. Michael's fight proved one truth: courage can shift industries. But it raises questions. Would you speak up against injustice, knowing the cost? How should companies handle systemic bias? Share your thoughts below, especially on confronting discrimination in daily life. Your voice matters. Take a stand, and let us know where you draw the line.